Hey guys, still here and welcome back to War on the Sea. It's episode 17, and after my encounter from the Washington Surface Action Group against the enemy task force, consisting of 2 destroyers and 6 transports, this fleet task force is pretty much empty. The Fletcher took critical damage, needs repairs urgently, and the rest of the ships are almost uniformly out of ammo. So, since I don't have a port that's capable of resupplying at the Rennell Islands, and since Guadalcanal is still under attack, Milne Bay is a tier 1, we're gonna have to send the whole big fleet back. Just all the way back in another 27 hours, which means that effectively they're out of the fight for about 2.5 days before they can get resupplied. Fortunately, the Enterprise is here, and the Enterprise might be able to take up some of the slack using aircraft. So that's the plan. I just really hope that I don't come under air attack, because that can really, really sour the remaining group here. Whoa, the sneaky boys are under attack. Oh, it's just an aircraft. Okay. Nothing too problematic then, so we can just ignore that. What else did we have? Where's that task force? Yeah, TF7 is still very much underway, so we can just continue. The Enterprise can launch new aircraft, so let's do just that. We're going to send out another flight of a couple of Wildcats, just to scout out the area ahead, making sure that nothing is lurking about and that can take out the Enterprise. The Enterprise's task force I want to have at/near Guadalcanal. I'm considering staying on this side, and making sure that I can launch aircraft over the islands, and thereby hopefully intercepting any more transports that could come my way. The transports that have sunk so far, substantial amount of enemy losses. I cannot quickly see how many of these Kamogawa Marus I've sunk, but there were a load of them. Hopefully it's going to make sure that Guadalcanal doesn't get attacked anymore, but of course, well, you never know. There we go, aircraft spotted near the Washington, that's what I was concerned about. There's not that much that I can do about that, aside from using, well, anything smaller than the 5-inch guns. One strafing run later, 3 aircraft are down, and I think that this might have been caused by a distinct lack of 5-inch shells after a certain run-in with some transports. So we were not able to sink, or well, not kill all of the enemy aircraft. Hopefully the 4th one's going to go home and, let's say, inform the rest of the Japanese Air Force that it's maybe not in their best interest to keep sending out aircraft to do strafing runs against both the Washington and the Fletcher, because these two, once again, were on the receiving end. Now the rest of the guys, not too much happening. Sneaky boys are getting engaged by that scout aircraft, or at least it's keeping an eye on them. And currently there's not too much that I can do about it. What I can do, and what I will do, is launch a whole bunch of submarines. We're going to swarm the waters around the enemy area with submarines. That's going to be the Gato class. And these boys are not too expensive, I believe. Yeah, I know, the Gato's already under my command. Fine. Create new sea. Why is this not working? New? Oh, I have to be on this tab, right. Not the Gato, the Grunnion. Whatever the hell a Grunnion is. Done. Set a course. That way. See you in 50 hours. Next, new sea. Once again, a Gato class, and this is going to be the Guardfish. Guardfish, done. Deploy. You're going to head over. I'm not sure why you're taking the outside route, but if you think that's faster, go for it. Next, new sea. Considering that I sunk all of those enemy transports and now have a fairly decent amount of supply for command points, to send in more ships. Looks like at this point they ran out of G's. So the rest of them, well, we're going to start at the A at Albacore. Done. Launch. And I'm just going to do this a few more times. Right, with the whole submarine fleet taking to sea, we have once again an encounter with enemy aircraft. They seem to once again go after either the Washington group or one of my remaining Kingfishers, and at the moment there's not that much that I can do about that, unfortunately. The Enterprise, however, might be able to assist, albeit a while later. These guys need to RTB, But we should be able to send out new... No, they cannot launch for another 0.1 hour because they just retrieved a couple of aircraft. Alright. Normally I don't actually capture enemy aircraft fighting, but this time around it is pretty amusing because I have 4 zeros against 1 Kingfisher. I'm taking manual control of the Kingfisher and I'm trying to just make it as difficult as possible. Unfortunately, not so much that I'm able to take them down, but 2 of the zeros were actually damaged by the tail gunner on this Kingfisher. I wouldn't at all be surprised if they're going to try and do the same thing with this aircraft. So what I'm going to try and do is, well, race, if you want to call it that, at 140 knots towards my surface group, hoping to holy hell that they can help me. Because this ship, or this aircraft, I have supposedly a gun in the nose, I think. But that's, well, that and the tail gunner are really the only things that I have available. So I'm actually hoping that these guys are going to try and take me out. But, oh, here they come. This guy, by the way, he is really tricky with that gun because he's able to use that at a 90-degree angle to himself. The game does not have an animation for the tail gunner actually turning around. He's just swinging the gun left and round. There, he just did it again. Oh, hello. Let's see, what's the range to my own group? I don't think I can make it, but I thought this was amusing. 6,000 yards. It's probably too much. The air continues to do strafing run. Here comes another one. That one missed. Here comes another. Come on. Oh, that hit. But no, yeah, there was substantial damage because I got a smoke plume coming after me. Range 5,500 yards. Come on, keep kiting. Just kiting some zeros with the Kingfisher towards a surface group that actually has a lot of flak on it. Come on. Stop showing off. Kingfisher cannot attack. Insufficient ammunition. Ah, crap. Oh well, that was the end of the Kingfishers. And unfortunately, that means that this group does not have any more scouts. So that is going to have to get taken up when we have another resupply. A little while later, we have a couple of aircraft, or at least one aircraft, spotted near the Enterprise. Time to launch those aircraft of my own. So the Enterprise is going to launch a flight of, let's go with half of the flight, 6 Wildcats. 6 Wildcats taking off, and then I can immediately begin the encounter. I think this is the first time that I actually show you some aircraft, or some air encounter. We have a flight of Wildcats 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then another wing of Wildcats 5 and 6. So let's deal with this enemy, what I think is a scout aircraft. Let's turn on the radar on the Chester, get a bit of a better look. New aircraft, bearing 337, incoming scout. Alright, Wildcats 1 and, well, actually all of them. Target. Oh no, they're all single. Well, that's actually not too bad. We could just have all of them go on the offensive. Normally they do this in a wave, but for that I would need to select the task force or wing leader, and not all of them at the same time. At any rate, this scout aircraft is about to have a really bad day. Of course, they now know where the Enterprise is. They might have already radioed that back. I'm not sure how the game treats that. At any rate, this thing has to go. Here comes the air attack, and gets hit a little bit. A very, very little bit. Come on, boys. Take it down. There it is, right in front. The way that I understand it, the game has the Wildcats now do passes unless I take over one of the Wildcats and manually instruct it when to start firing and how to maneuver. So you can, if you want to, perfectly line them up behind the enemy aircraft and have them just engage one by one by one. That should kill it. There she goes. And that was the last one. So that's how air attacks work. Or at least air to air. Not 1 moment later, or 1 minute later, another scout aircraft comes in. This time around, surprisingly, from the ocean. So there might potentially be a submarine around. And that is something that I really don't like, because the Enterprise is not supposed to encounter submarines. She does have some escorts, but still, I want the bugger dead. So I've sent 1 flight out, and this time around they're going to do that as an actual flight and not in solo attack runs. They're going to go head on with the enemy aircraft. You can see it coming up. This is going to be a really quick pass. Whoa! Well done, that. So that is another aircraft down. The question is, where'd they come from? Because if they came across from Guadalcanal, they would have come across that island. They didn't. They came out from the sea. So there is something potentially out here to the south. By now it is nighttime. 1941. That's the time of day, not the year. And the Enterprise has an encounter. Not great. I'm thinking it might be a submarine, potentially the one that's constantly launching those assisting scout planes. The thing is, the Enterprise does not have the capacity to launch aircraft, considering it is after nightfall. So as much as I would like to launch aircraft, especially Avengers with torpedo or with dive bombs, I can't. And that's maybe a problem. Now we're going to change formation, and we're going to change that into a way that at least keeps the Enterprise as safe as possible. So I'm going to put the Enterprise at the back of the line. I'm going to swap positions. I want the 3 destroyers. Actually, is this the best formation? Definitely not that. No. Circular might be interesting, actually. 1, 3, and 4 positions by the DDs. 5 is the Enterprise and 2 is the Chester. Okay, let's do that. Because I have an idea what I'm facing. A suspicion, shall we say. I just need to get a confirmation. In the form of potentially a torpedo launch. It's normally target 1 that they actually engage with torpedoes. Let's have the whole group change course. I still think it's weird to have a destroyer leading the formation, but okay, that's how the game wants it. Nothing to the port side. No torpedoes to the starboard. Oh, hold on. No, that's just the water. What is out here? If anything. What? I can immediately leave. This makes no sense. This is another one of those things that I think, game, you gotta get this shit straight. Either there's something attacking me and I have an encounter, or not. But not these ghost encounters. With the previous one, with the with the Washington, North Carolina class, at least there were star shells coming up above the destroyer. Nothing. This is so weird. So, no idea what attacked me. No idea whether it's still out here. I'm assuming it is? Question mark? I don't know. Let's just continue. About 10 minutes later in game, actually now a bit more, it's 2039, the Enterprise this time does get engaged. Right over there, we have a torpedo launch. I can't quite zoom in on it because we're paused, but right here, somebody's trying to torpedo. So, I think that's going to be the Chevalier? No, the O'Bannon. The O'Bannon gets under torpedo attack, but of course the main prize is going to be the Enterprise. Pun not intended. I need the Enterprise to turn hard to port and try to evade. Same for the Chester. Need to turn hard to port and evade. O'Bannon. It's hard to see with that moonlight, but we're going to have to turn maximum starboard and race towards the position where that submarine supposedly is. They're already arcing, these torpedoes. I'd say the DD is already really, really close. Oh, this is going to be a problem. Increase the flank, turn to starboard. Oh no, not the Enterprise again. Slow down, Chester. Ooh, this is gonna get awfully close. Too close, in fact. Shit. Not the first time that I had a cruiser engaged by a torpedo. Alright, slow down. Chester, status. Your whole starboard side is toast. I want you to go to minimum speed. Just go dead in the water, whatever. We need to find this bugger here. Hello. Jesus, how close did you get? That was really on top of us. Assume it's a Type B1. Range 295 yards. If you don't watch yourself, then the Chester is going to come down right on top of you. What's your depth? I don't know. 93 feet and going down. Alright, the O'Bannon, hard to port. We need to try and sink this guy between us. Look at the Chester. Whew. Starboard aft. Badly damaged. There are still 2 compartments that could be saved. But the Chester's going to have to go home for repairs. At least they were not able to land a torpedo against the Enterprise, but that was getting pretty close. This guy is so screwed though. He's being boxed in by 3 destroyers. I need you to just stay here as a... well, potentially doing the diving or the depth charge run. Slow down. Yeah, Jenkins can do an attack run. I need you to start heading this way at 8 knots. Target's moving at 6 knots. Jenkins, can we see him? Negative. Slow down to nothing. 1 knot. Because he's still... yeah, he's still too far away. Crap. O'Bannon, I'm going to need you to charge in. I want you over there. Come on. Jenkins should be able to just listen in. Chevalier that way. No, not like that, you dum-dum. I want you to turn over to starboard. Starboard turn. Then come around. I hate that you cannot get from the binocular view to a different ship. I have to get out of the bino view and then select the other ship, because if you don't do it in that order, the game simply doesn't accept it. Target moving at 7 knots now. Depth 262. Solution 60. And climbing. The Jenkins is just sitting here listening to it. Should be able to see it right now. Lost it. Slow down. Hello again. Jenkins, starboard turn. O'Bannon. There she is. I need to sort of run it over with the O'Bannon. 7 knots on the target. Steady as she goes. At some point I'm going to have to set up a resupply base far closer than the New Hebrides, because it's taking me a lot of time to repair ships. Is she turning? No, she's on a steady heading of 315. I'm going to have to go a little faster. At the risk of losing it. If I drop depth charges now, they're going to come down over here. Which is not useful. Jenkins, continue your turn. Come left a little bit. Oh crap, that was the Chevalier. I need the Bannon. Here. Let's say we can continue our attack. Or we can commence our attack. Match speed. Not sure if we're gonna hit him. Even some damage that can shake him up would be great. Look at that. Depth charge is going off. What's the target doing? Staying at 262 feet. It is raining explosives for him. Minus 263. That stern does not look as good as it once did. That's gonna hit him right on the nose, isn't it? It exploded inside the submarine. Yeah, right. Depth, minus 269, 272, I think they're sinking. For one last time. O'Bannon, how much did that cost you? Half your depth charges. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, she's down to 300 feet. I think you can survive in a sub like that. What was it, 1.5 times? Here, now she tries to do an emergency blow. She's gonna try to surface. Test depth 328. So once they reach test depth, they're starting to surface, I think. That's when the AI maybe starting to panics and goes, oh shit. But the question is, can they surface? I think they might. They might be able to surface, considering that they are getting shallower. So the influx of water is not as good as the time that it's, or as the speed that the water is flowing in. So now we just need to wait until he comes up. Turns out, she was not able to get back up. It took her a few minutes of deciding whether or not to give it up. She was sort of hovering around minus 290 to minus 270, and eventually she just died. So that's good. Except heavy damage to the Chester. Shit. So I'm going to detach the Chester, and I'm going to tell her to go back. Release. Oh, right. No, sorry. It has to be split. So the Chester, I'm going to capitalize this, needs repairs. We're going to send you all the way back. You just came out of port with the Enterprise. But I'm sorry, you're going to have to go back. There's just no way around that. In the meanwhile, I have my whole wave of submarines currently coming out. TF-14 is a new task force, by the way. These are going to link up with the Washington. It's the cruisers Tuscaloosa and San Diego. Tuscaloosa is a New Orleans class, I think. And, check. Yeah. I sent her out to replace the Wichita, which was with that group. And the other one, the San Diego, is a Fletcher class. No, sorry. An Atlanta class. And I'm sending her out to ensure that this group still has some sort of anti-air to balance out the fact that the 5-inch guns on almost all the ships are fully depleted. Now, this is where we're going to leave it for this episode. Next episode, hopefully a bit more action. Maybe more surface-to-surface warfare. I know there's still a group out here somewhere. I'm going to send the Gato there to deal with it. Just do a bit of a patrol. Maybe they can find it and ambush it before Port Moresby gets hit again. Anyway, more of that in the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you soon for the next one.